Hey everyone, and welcome back to KenkoVibe, your daily dose of health insights. I'm Ethan Reed,
And I'm Grace Morgan.
and today we're going to be diving into something that might surprise you a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the connection between nitrates, a common heart medication, and you guessed it.
Erectile dysfunction.
That's right, erectile dysfunction, or as we know it,
ED.
ED. Now, you might think that something that improves blood flow would help with ED,
Right.
and you wouldn't be entirely wrong.
Yeah,
But there's a really crucial catch that we need to unpack.
absolutely. So nitrates, as you mentioned, are vasodilators,
Great.
meaning they widen blood vessels to improve blood flow, which is why they're prescribed so often for heart disease.
Right, makes sense.
But that very same mechanism that helps with heart disease can actually create a dangerous situation when combined with common ED medications like Viagra Cialis or Levitra.
Oh, wow. Okay, so help me understand this a little bit.
Sure.
If nitrates and ED meds both widen blood vessels,
Right?
what makes that combination so risky?
That's a great question.
Is it not just like more of a good thing?
It seems like it should be, right?
Yeah.
You would think so, but not quite. Think of it this way. Your blood vessels are like a network of pipes,
Okay.
and your blood pressure is the force that pushes water through them.
Okay, I like that.
So nitrates and ED drugs both open those pipes wider.
Got it.
Okay, so doing both at the same time, it's like suddenly removing a lot of resistance from that system.
Okay.
That pressure drops dramatically.
Okay.
And that's where the problem comes in.
Okay, I'm starting to see why that's an issue. So we're talking about a sudden drop in blood pressure.
Yeah.
What kind of risks does that actually pose?
We're talking about things like dizziness, fainting,
Wow.
and in really severe cases, you can even have heart attack or cardiac arrest.
Oh my God.
So it's not something to take lightly at all.
No, definitely not. This is serious stuff.
Yeah,
So anyone on nitrates needs to steer clear of those ED meds. We've established that.
absolutely.
But what about men who are taking nitrates and are experiencing ED?
Right?
Are they just kind of out of luck?
Not at all. And this is where natural supplements can enter the picture.
Okay.
But remember, and this is important, natural doesn't always equal safe.
Right.
So it's crucial to consult with your doctor before trying any new supplement.
Good advice.
But there are a number of natural options out there that may help with ED without those same risks as the prescription medications.
Interesting. Okay, so how do these natural supplements work then?
Yeah.
Are they doing kind of the same thing as the medications, just in a milder way?
Not exactly. Many of them actually work by boosting something called nitric oxide production in the body.
Okay.
And you see, nitrates don't actually contain nitric oxide themselves.
Oh, really?
They actually act as what we call a precursor, meaning the body converts them into nitric oxide,
Okay.
which then triggers the blood vessel dilation we talked about.
Ah, so the nitrates are like a roundabout way to get to the nitric oxide,
Exactly.
while these supplements are taking a more direct route.
Yeah, kind of like taking the scenic route versus the expressway.
I like that analogy.
There you go.
But are these natural supplements really effective?
Well, many of them have shown really promising results in studies and trials,
Okay.
and they do it without relying on that same pathway as nitrates, so you avoid that dangerous interaction.
Okay, that makes sense.
Some popular examples that you might have heard of include Male Extra, Max Performer, Vigrex Plus, and Viasil.
Okay,
These are all formulated with natural ingredients and generally considered safe.
that's really good to know. But with so many different supplements on the market,
Oh, yeah.
how can our listeners be sure that they're choosing high-quality products?
That's a really great question. One thing to look for is that they're manufactured in certified facilities,
Yeah.
following something called Good Manufacturing Practices, or GMP.
GMP, got it.
This basically ensures that the product meets certain quality and safety standards.
So it's all about doing your research and choosing products from reputable sources.
Absolutely.
Makes sense. Now, Grace,
Yeah.
before we move on, you mentioned earlier that ED could sometimes be an early warning sign of heart disease.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Why is there this link between these two seemingly separate conditions?
Yeah, it all goes back to blood flow. So the same factors that damage blood vessels in the heart,
Okay.
things like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, smoking, and diabetes.
Right, those are the usual suspects.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those can also damage the blood vessels in the penis.
Ah, so it's like the same culprit causing trouble in different parts of the body.
Precisely.
So experiencing ED could be a sign of underlying cardiovascular issues, even if you haven't noticed any other symptoms yet?
That's a great point. Exactly. And that's why any changes in sexual function should always be discussed with your doctor.
Yeah.
Especially if you're already taking nitrates for a heart condition.
Okay.
It could be nothing serious,
Right.
but it could be a sign that something else is going on.
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
Always better to err on the side of caution when it comes to your health.
Absolutely.
So to recap what we've learned so far,
Yeah.
mixing nitrates with ED meds is a big no-no because of that dangerous blood pressure drop.
Right.
But natural supplements might offer a safer alternative for some men.
Exactly.
And we also learned about the connection between ED and heart disease, which is a whole other layer to this conversation.
Absolutely.
And in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to be exploring that link even further. We'll discuss the shared risk factors, potential warning signs, and steps that men can take to protect both their heart and their sexual health.
It's going to be fascinating.
So stick with us. We'll be right back with more on this important topic right here on KenkoVibe. Welcome back to KenkoVibe.
We're delving deeper into this connection between erectile dysfunction and heart disease.
Yeah, it's a link that often goes unnoticed.
Right.
But understanding it can be really crucial for men's overall health.
Right. Because as we discussed earlier, for some men, ED might be that early warning sign that something's not quite right with their cardiovascular system.
Right.
Like a canary in the coal mine.
Exactly.
Signaling potential danger down the road.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy.
So to understand why these two conditions are linked, we need to look at those underlying mechanisms.
Absolutely.
So let's break it down. What's happening in the body
Okay.
that connects ED and heart disease?
It all comes back to the health of our blood vessels.
Okay.
So imagine your circulatory system like a vast network of highways transporting vital nutrients and oxygen throughout your body.
Okay. I'm picturing those highways.
Good.
What happens when there are issues with those roads?
Well, over time, those highways can develop cracks, potholes, or even blockages. And this disrupts the smooth flow of traffic.
Okay.
In this case, blood.
Right.
And can lead to problems in different areas.
So if those blockages occur in the arteries supplying the heart, could lead to a heart attack.
Exactly.
And if they occur in the smaller vessels supplying the penis, that could lead to ED.
Exactly. You got it.
The same culprits damaging those blood vessels in the heart. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, smoking, diabetes can also wreak havoc in the more delicate blood vessels of the penis.
That's right. It's like having a plumbing problem that affects multiple faucets in the house.
Right. And the frustrating part is these issues often develop gradually. Right.
Right.
So it's hard to notice them until the symptoms actually start appearing.
Exactly. And that's why ED can sometimes be a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Signaling there could be potential problems with your cardiovascular system.
Yeah.
It's your body's way of saying, hey, pay attention. There might be an issue here.
Wow. That's a powerful reminder that ED shouldn't be ignored.
Absolutely.
It's more than just a sexual concern.
Right.
It could be a sign of a much bigger health issue.
Exactly.
So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about preventative measures.
Right.
What can men do to keep those blood vessels healthy and functioning properly?
Well, the good news is that many of the lifestyle changes that benefit heart health also benefit sexual health.
Okay, so it's a win-win.
It's a win-win situation.
I like that. Less work for more benefits. I'm all about that.
So exactly.
Okay, so what are we talking about here? What are those key steps men can take?
First and foremost, if you smoke, quit.
Okay.
Smoking is honestly one of the worst things you can do for your blood vessels.
Yeah.
It damages the lining of your arteries, making them more prone to plaque buildup, which restricts blood flow.
Right. We all know smoking is bad, but sometimes it takes hearing it over and over again for the message to truly sink in. So consider this your reminder, folks. Put those cigarettes down.
Absolutely.
And speaking of things we should be putting down, let's talk about diet.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Here comes the lecture on kale smoothies and celery sticks.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It's more about making smart choices.
Okay.
You know, focus on a diet that's rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins.
Okay.
Think of it as fueling your body with premium ingredients for optimal performance.
Okay. That sounds pretty doable. How about exercise?
Yeah.
I know it's good for the heart.
It is.
But how does it help with ED?
Regular exercise is like a magic potion for your blood vessels.
Okay. I like magic potions.
It improves blood flow, strengthens your heart, lowers blood pressure.
Well,
all things that contribute to both heart and sexual health.
So we've got quitting smoking, a healthy diet, regular exercise.
Great.
Anything else we should be focusing on?
Managing stress is really crucial.
Oh, yeah.
Chronic stress can take a toll on both your mental and physical health.
Yeah, for sure.
Including your heart and your ability to achieve and maintain an erection.
That makes sense. When you're stressed out, everything just feels a bit tighter.
Exactly.
including those blood vessels.
Exactly. So finding healthy ways to manage stress, whether it's exercise, meditation, spending time in nature,
Right.
can have a really significant positive impact.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is all great advice, Grace. But what about men who already have heart disease?
Right.
Is it too late for them to improve their sexual health?
Absolutely not. It's never too late to make positive changes.
Okay, that's good.
In fact, managing your existing heart disease through medication and lifestyle changes can often actually improve erectile function.
That's encouraging news.
Yeah.
It shows that even if you've had some health challenges,
Yeah.
there's still a path to better overall health and a
Absolutely.
more fulfilling life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all about here at KenkoVibe.
Yeah.
Empowering you with the knowledge and tools to take control of your health and well-being.
So to recap, ED and heart disease are closely linked
Yes.
because they both involve those problems with blood flow.
Right.
By making healthy lifestyle changes, men can significantly improve both their heart and sexual health.
Absolutely.
And we learned that ED can sometimes be an early warning sign of underlying heart issues.
Yes.
So any changes in sexual function should be discussed with a doctor,
Absolutely.
especially for men already taking nitrates for a heart condition.
Right.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I wanted to touch on one more important aspect of this conversation,
Okay.
and that's the emotional and psychological impact of ED.
That's a great point. That's a really crucial point.
It's not just about the physical symptoms.
Right. It can have a significant impact on a man's self-esteem, his relationships, his overall quality of life.
Yeah, we're talking about issues like self-esteem, body image, relationship challenges,
Yeah.
which can sometimes lead to anxiety, even depression.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And remember, ED is often a very personal and sensitive issue for men.
Right.
And many men struggle to talk about it, even with their partners or their doctors.
And that silence can create a vicious cycle,
It can.
right? The more isolated a man feels, the harder it becomes to actually seek help.
Exactly.
And the emotional burden just keeps growing.
Exactly. That's why breaking down the stigma surrounding ED is so important.
Yeah.
We need to create a space where men feel comfortable discussing these issues openly and honestly.
So let's talk about how we can do that.
Yeah.
Where can men find support and resources if they're struggling with this emotional impact of ED?
Well, the first step is often talking to a healthcare provider. And I want to emphasize, this goes beyond just getting a prescription for medication.
Right.
It's about finding a doctor who truly listens, who understands your concerns,
Right.
and can provide comprehensive care that addresses both the physical and the emotional aspects of ED.
It sounds like finding the right doctor can make a huge difference.
It really cares.
Someone who sees you as a whole person,
Yeah.
not just a set of symptoms.
Exactly. And remember, there are other resources available as well.
Okay.
Mental health professionals like therapists and counselors can provide really valuable support in navigating the emotional challenges associated with ED.
Okay.
They can help you develop coping mechanisms, improve communication with your partner,
Right.
and address any underlying anxieties or depression that you may be experiencing.
And let's not forget about the power of support groups.
Oh, that's right.
You know, knowing that you're not alone in this journey can be incredibly empowering.
It can be a game changer. Support groups offer a safe and non-judgmental space,
Right.
share experiences, learn from one another, and realize that you're not alone in this.
So many great resources out there.
Mhm.
But I imagine that first conversation,
Yeah,
especially with a partner, can be really tough.
it can be.
Do you have any tips on how to approach it? What can make that conversation a little easier?
It's a great question. Start by choosing a time and place where you both feel comfortable and relaxed.
Yeah.
Express your feelings honestly and let your partner know that you want to work through this together.
Right.
Remember, you're a team,
Yeah.
and facing challenges as a team can actually strengthen your bond.
That's such an important reminder.
It is.
It's not about placing blame or making anyone feel inadequate.
Right.
It's about finding those solutions together
Exactly.
and supporting each other through the process.
Absolutely. And involving your partner in the treatment process can also make a huge difference.
Right.
When both partners understand the condition and the available options,
Yeah,
it can lead to a more supportive and fulfilling relationship.
that makes a lot of sense. Open communication and shared decision-making can really strengthen a relationship,
Absolutely.
especially when you're facing health challenges.
Exactly.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the science behind ED and its link to heart health, to the importance of seeking both medical and emotional support.
Yeah, it's been a great conversation.
Grace, any final words of wisdom for our listeners before we wrap up?
Remember that knowledge is power. The more you understand about ED, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions about your health and well-being.
Well said.
Don't be afraid to ask questions, seek support, and advocate for your needs.
And as always, we encourage you to talk to your doctor if you have any concerns about your sexual health.
Absolutely.
They're there to help you navigate these challenges and find that best path forward.
Exactly. And remember, you are not alone.
Yeah.
ED is a common condition, and there are effective treatments available.
Yeah.
With the right support and information, you can reclaim your confidence and enjoy a fulfilling life.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of ED and its impact on men's health and well-being. We're Ethan Reed. And we're back for the final part of our KenkoVibe deep dive, where we're exploring the emotional and psychological impact of ED.
Yeah, this is something that often gets overshadowed by the physical aspects,
Right.
But it's just as important to address.
We've touched on some of the challenges like anxiety, depression, relationship issues.
Right.
It seems like these things could easily create a vicious cycle, making it even harder for men to seek help.
Exactly. And many men feel embarrassed or ashamed to talk about ED, even with their partners or their doctors.
Okay.
And this silence can lead to isolation and make the emotional burden even heavier.
It's like adding another layer of stress onto an already difficult situation.
It is.
So what can we do to break down the stigma
Yeah.
and encourage more open communication?
It starts with recognizing that ED is more common than many people realize.
Right.
And it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
We need to create a culture where men feel comfortable seeking help and discussing these issues without judgment.
That's a great point. It's about normalizing these conversations.
Yeah.
And removing the shame that often surrounds ED.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about where men can find support and resources. What are some good first steps?
One of the most important steps is finding a healthcare provider who is understanding and knowledgeable about ED.
Okay.
And this goes beyond just getting a prescription.
Right.
It's about having a doctor who listens, who addresses your concerns,
Right.
and provides comprehensive care that considers both the physical and emotional aspects of ED.
It sounds like finding the right doctor can make a huge difference.
It really can.
Someone who sees you as a whole person,
Exactly.
not just a set of symptoms.
And remember, there are other resources available as well.
Okay.
Mental health professionals like therapists and counselors can provide valuable support in navigating the emotional challenges associated with ED. They can help you develop coping mechanisms, improve communication with your partner, and address any underlying anxieties or depression.
And let's not forget about the power of support groups.
Oh, that's right.
Knowing you're not alone in this journey can be incredibly empowering.
Absolutely. Support groups offer a safe and non-judgmental space to share experiences, learn from others, and connect with men who understand what you're going through.
So many great resources out there.
Yeah.
But I imagine that first conversation, especially with a partner, can be really tough.
It can be.
Any advice on how to approach that?
Choose a time and place where you both feel comfortable and relaxed.
Okay.
Be honest about your feelings and let your partner know that you want to work through this together as a team.
Right.
Remember, you're a team.
Yeah.
And facing challenges as a team can actually strengthen your bond.
That's a great point. It's not about placing blame or making anyone feel inadequate.
Right.
It's about supporting each other and finding solutions together.
Exactly. And involving your partner in the treatment process can make a world of difference.
Okay.
When both partners understand the condition and the available options, it fosters a sense of teamwork and shared responsibility.
That's really encouraging. It shows that ED doesn't have to be a relationship deal breaker.
Right.
It can be an opportunity to grow closer and support each other through a challenging time.
Absolutely. It's about shifting the perspective from isolation and shame to one of understanding, communication, and shared solutions.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. From the science behind ED and its link to heart health, to the importance of addressing the emotional and psychological impact, we've explored many facets of this complex issue. Grace, any final words of wisdom for our listeners before we wrap up?
My biggest piece of advice is this: knowledge is power. The more you understand about ED, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions about your health and well-being.
Well said.
Don't hesitate to ask questions, seek support, and advocate for your needs. Remember, you're not alone.
And as always, we encourage you to talk to your doctor if you have any concerns about your sexual health. They're there to help you navigate these challenges and find the best path forward.
And remember, there is hope. ED is a common condition, and there are effective treatments available. With the right support and information, you can reclaim your confidence and live a fulfilling life.
Thanks for joining us on this KenkoVibe journey, exploring the connection between nitrates, ED, and heart health. We're Ethan Reed.
And Grace Morgan.
If you found this deep dive helpful, please subscribe, like, comment, and share it with anyone who might benefit. Until next time, stay healthy and keep those vibes high.